Chapter 1 Attack in the Snow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the afternoon, snowflakes filled the sky in the northern part of the Zhou dynasty. It's the end of another year. The Yi family in Fengyang City, as one of the three major local aristocratic families, has been preparing for the annual year-end clan competition a month in advance. In Sanyin Continent, where martial arts is popular, the year-end clan competition is undoubtedly the most important grand event for each clan. Ding! When? In the back hall of Yejiaki Hall, a shirtless young man, wearing a black stone pendant tied around his neck and wearing coarse trousers, was swinging a big hammer in front of the furnace, constantly hammering a piece of pig iron that was smelted red. His face was flushed by the fire, and large beads of sweat were already oozing out from his resolute face and muscular body. Bang! The young man was tired of smashing, so he threw the sledgehammer aside, wiped the sweat from his forehead, glanced at the burning iron block, and couldn't help but mutter. I just want to refine a knife. Why did my aunt cheat me like this? Where did you find a broken piece of iron? That he has been smelting this piece of black iron for 2 years, spending at least an hour every day to temper it, but until now, it has only been slightly deformed. After 2 years, he has not perfected his sword, but his body has become stronger than ordinary people. He can also dance with a sledgehammer weighing more than 200 kilograms extremely skillfully. He shook his head helplessly and fought with a metal puppet next to him. Suddenly there was a constant bang-bang sound in the hall. This metal puppet is also rare and can use different punches to fight him. In less than a quarter of an hour, 3 or 4 sets of boxing techniques had been changed. The young man had no routine in his attacks. He was just trying to find a way to deal with it. Occasionally, he was hit with a few punches, but he didn't care at all. Suddenly, he and the puppet used force at the same time, and their fists hit each other. There was a bang sound. The metal puppet took 2 steps back, but the young man took 4 or 5 steps back before barely standing still. The young man rubbed his red and swollen fists, and the muscles on his face twitched slightly in pain, but his bright eyes were full of disappointment. Are my qualifications so bad? I have been practicing hard for 4 years, but in the end I am still at the 3rd level of body refining. There are still 10 days left for the year-end clan competition. If I am not at the 4th level of body refining by then, I will have to rush to the branch. The major realms of martial arts cultivation are body refining, true essence, sea transformation, Yuan Dan, and Tiangang. Each realm is divided into 9 levels, and each level is divided into 4 levels, front, middle, back, and peak. Some people also generally call the 1st, 2nd and 3rd levels of each realm the early stage. The 4th, 5th and 6th levels are collectively called the middle stage. The 7th, 8th and 9th levels are collectively called the late stage. In Fengyang City, there are no martial arts cultivators at the sea-turning realm. Reaching the middle stage of true Yuan realm is enough to support a large family. As for the realms above Tiangang, they are all legends. The shirtless boy's name is Yi Luyan. His current state, to be precise, is the 3rd late stage of body refining, also known as the early stage of body refining. At this moment, his heart was full of unwillingness, and at the same time he felt a deep sense of powerlessness. When Yi Luyan was 10 years old, Yi Luyan's Aunt Feng Wanru came to see her mother. It seemed that something had happened to her mother's family. Then my father accompanied my mother back to her parents' home, but never came back. His aunt was left by his mother to take care of him and took over his father's position as the elder of the Qi Hall. Yi Luyan has always thought about making himself stronger through his own efforts in cultivation, so that he can find his parents and see the outside world in the future, but in the past 2 years, his realm has been stuck at the 3rd level of body refining. No matter how hard you try, there is no progress in your realm. Both the main and branch disciples in the clan looked down upon this waste and mediocrity. Even Yi Xinyu, who was engaged to him, had eyes full of contempt and disgust every time she saw him. She asked him to terminate the engagement several times, making him the laughing stock of the entire clan. Yi Luyan casually grabbed a piece of clothing and put it on, then walked out of the back hall sadly. Aunt Feng Wanru was already drunk and fast asleep on the rocking chair. Several empty wine gourds were lying on the wine table next to her. He glanced at Feng Wanru. Her face was white and rosy, her eyelashes were fluttering, and her chest was rising and falling. He quickly withdrew his gaze, not daring to look further. Feng Wanru is 8 years older than him. She is young, has a stunning appearance, is slim, and has a transcendent temperament. She is definitely a beauty. But this beautiful aunt has become an alcoholic. She is often drunk and has no image of a lady at all. Feng Wanru was well informed, and Yi Luyun gained some of his understanding of the outside world from her stories. But many times, Yi Luyun thought that Feng Wanru was exaggerating on purpose, but in terms of cultivation, apart from letting him exercise, he was not given any body training elixirs. He also said it was for his own good. Yi Luyun didn't understand. Because others have not awakened their bloodline, they still take elixirs to improve their realm. He also fought, but it only made Feng Wanru angry and had no effect. Therefore, Yi Luyun's slow improvement in realm has a lot to do with the fact that he never takes pills. Feng Wanru didn't care about his level, but seeing that his bloodline was still slow to awaken and she had no other choice, she took the opportunity to drink to relieve her worries. Yi Luyun felt a little sorry for his aunt when he thought of this. I wonder if my aunt can bear it if I am driven to the branch. That he sighed, picked up the wine gourd on the table, and went out to get her some wine. Yi Luyun didn't feel cold either. Facing the snowflakes all over the sky, breathing the cold air and crunching on the thick snow, he felt much more comfortable. Just when Yi Luyun was 2 blocks away from the tavern, he suddenly stopped and frowned. Intent to kill, a feeling of danger arose spontaneously, causing his heart to beat violently. Suddenly, a masked man in black robe jumped out from the alley next to him and rushed towards him like a gust of wind. Yi Luyun smelled a woman's fragrance in the gust of wind, which stood out in the fresh air after the snow, but Yi Luyun's level was too low after all. He had a premonition of danger but couldn't avoid it. He was stabbed in the lower abdomen by the sword of the man in black. He subconsciously covered his lower abdomen, his hands covered with blood. The man in black robe then slapped his chest with a palm. It's a woman. This hand and the smell of the wind just now, Yi Xinyu. She wants to kill me. An idea flashed through Yi Luyun's mind. He didn't understand other people. Although Yi Luyun didn't have a good impression of his fiancée, he still observed her carefully. So he can tell it right away. It's just that in the past, Yi Xinyu only insulted him a few words and encouraged others to cause trouble for him. She had never done anything herself, let alone wanted to kill him. At this time, he couldn't allow him to think too much. With a pop sound, the man in black's palm hit the pendant on his chest, seeming to break the pendant. The moment Yi Luyun fell backward, one hand hurriedly grasped the pendant on his chest. That was the only memory his parents left him. Yi Luyun fell to the ground, and the man in black followed up with another sword, stabbing him in the throat. Humph! A cold snort echoed in the street like thunder. Then a powerful momentum pressed towards the man in black. Puff! The man in black was so shocked that he froze. The sword could no longer be stabbed. A mouthful of blood spurted on his mask, and then he turned around and ran away. Seeing the man in black running away, Yi Luyun felt relieved. It seemed that someone took action and rescued him. I thought I was going to be killed just now. At this time, even he himself didn't know that the black pendant had absorbed all his blood. Then the pendant flashed with light, covering Yi Luyun's body, and the wounds on his body immediately recovered as intact as before. The wound is healed. What's going on? Yi Luyun was shocked. Before he could figure out what happened, the black pendant flew into his body again. At this moment, perhaps due to the serious injury just now, his consciousness became increasingly blurred and he gradually passed out. Chapter 2 Bloodline Awakening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Yi Luyun woke up, he found himself in an unknown space. What he was holding in his hand was not his black pendant, but a metal sign. Where is this? Where did this metal plate come from? He glanced at the dark metal sign. On one side was the word Ling, and on the other side, there were lines engraved on it that he couldn't understand. Suddenly, he found that his arms and body were transparent, and he was immediately stunned. Am I dead? I remember the wounds have healed. At this time, a majestic voice came from the token in his hand. The bloodline inheritance is confirmed, the order of the gods is restarted. Order the ancients, and the gods obey orders. Yi Luyun was frightened and let go of his hand. The token was suspended in the air, projecting a huge light and shadow. In the light and shadow, a man looks like an emperor, with his head in the sky and his feet on the earth. He wears an imperial crown and a dragon robe, with eyes like stars, standing proudly in the sky. Yi Luyan felt like an ant in front of this figure, extremely humble. The stalwart figure pointed towards Yi Luyan, and a golden light shot towards him. A large amount of information poured into his mind at once, and Yi Luyan had no time to take a closer look. Xianyuan Qi Refining Technique. Basic exercises for Qi refining, Dian Soul Technique. The method of cultivating the soul, immortal physical strength. The method of body training. There are all kinds of cultivation techniques, and even some information on alchemy, weapon refining, formations, etc. are integrated into it. He couldn't see it for a moment. He also discovered that his transparent body was gradually dyed with a layer of gold. Could it be that this is the inheritance of some kind of saint? Yi Luyan also heard some legends about the inheritance of saints from his aunt, but he always thought that these were just stories. Just listen to the figure saying to Yi Luyan, the ancient world was invaded by aliens and the gods fell. Now, aliens invade again. You have awakened the blood of the ancient god of war and have the responsibility to protect this ancient world. Ancient world. Alien invasion. Senior. Yi Luyan was completely confused by these words and was about to ask. The figure interrupted him again. You will naturally know when your strength improves. I will leave the 10,000 gods' order to you. You must remember not to mention the 10,000 gods' order to anyone. There is not much time left for you, so hurry up and improve your strength. After saying that, the figure waved his hand, and Yi Luyan felt dizzy again. When he woke up again, he found himself in the back hall of the Qi Hall, soaking in a tub, with nothing in his hands. Feng Wanru stood in front of the tub, like a fairy, surprisingly not drunk, and looked at him with surprise in her eyes. Your bloodline has awakened. You have finally embarked on the path of martial arts practice. The bathtub is specially prepared for you to cleanse your muscles and marrow. You should absorb it as much as possible. Yi Luyan wanted to ask who saved him and what he had gone through. But after Feng Wanru said that, she turned around and left. He was still in a state of confusion. Did I have a dream? But what happened to the bloodline awakening? That he looked at his body and everything was normal. I touched my abdomen, but there were no wounds. I even feel like my body is full of power. But when he realized that all the energy he had cultivated before was gone, his heart sank, lying on grass. Yi Luyan almost vomited blood. I was slow in cultivating myself in the first place, but now it's even worse. I don't know how long it will take for me to cultivate those true energy back. But then, he was shocked again. He found that in his memory, all the various techniques that the golden light passed to him just now were there. Yi Luyan's mind was completely confused now. This kind of great sadness and joy is so exciting. It took me a long time to accept the fact of my dream experience. It seems that I have really received an amazing inheritance. Is this a blessing in disguise? Let's take a look at the technique first. No matter what, I won't suffer. At that moment, he immediately studied the technique in his mind. What level of skills are these? These techniques are not marked with grades, but their effects are extremely powerful. The Xianyuan Qi refining technique alone can not only absorb spiritual energy and transform it into true energy, but also absorb the 5 elements in the air and transform it into another type of mysterious energy, which can be mixed with the true energy to enhance the power of the true energy. Yi Luyan was so excited that he immediately started practicing according to the method in Xianyuan Qi refining technique. His need for skills has reached the point of ravenous thirst. In the past, due to his low level, he could not enter the clan's library and was not qualified to choose exercises. For a moment, the spiritual energy in the air swarmed towards him. The medicinal ingredients in the bathtub were also directly absorbed into his body. Even Feng Wanru was attracted by his movement of absorbing spiritual energy. It's not easy for this brat to awaken his bloodline. He can make such a big noise just by absorbing spiritual energy. She quietly returned and threw more herbs into the tub. 3 days later, all the ingredients of the medicinal materials in the bathtub were absorbed by Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan's body was covered with a thick layer of dirt, which was the impurities discharged from the body after cleansing the muscles and cutting the marrow. He quickly used his true energy to clean himself up and then jumped out of the tub. At this time, his realm not only broke through to the 4th level of body refining, but he also condensed the true energy seeds in advance. Usually, the true energy seeds start to condense after reaching the 7th level of body refining. If you can condense the true energy seeds at the 6th level of body refining, you are already considered a genius, and he is only in the middle stage of the 4th level of body refining. Yi Luyun was excited about his own changes. Before he could carefully feel the changes in his body, he was startled by a noise outside the door. Yi Luyun, get out of here. Someone shouted loudly outside the hospital. As soon as Yi Luyun heard this voice, he knew that it was Yi Hai who was looking for trouble again. Among the disciples of the same age as the main lineage of the Yi family, this guy is the one with the lowest level except Yi Luyun. He is only at the 5th level of body refining. He is also Yi Sinyu's secret admirer, so he often causes trouble for Yi Luyun. However, although Yi Luyun's level is low, he has a strong body and often spars with puppets, so he doesn't suffer much every time he fights. Just use him to practice with. Yi Luyun thought of this, put on his clothes and rushed outside the hospital. Outside the door, Yi Hai tilted his arms, surrounded by several dandy disciples, who were pulling their necks and shouting. Seeing Yi Luyun come out, Yi Hai immediately smiled proudly and said, "Trash, I have already broken through the 6th level of body refining. Why don't you kneel down and kowtow to beg for mercy?" That he had just broken through to the 6th level of body refining today, and he immediately came to Yi Luyun to show off. He had troubled Yi Luyun before, but he had never been able to gain much advantage, and he had been holding his breath in his heart. Today I can finally deal with Yi Luyun completely. Yi Luyun glanced at Yi Hai contemptuously and said with a smile, "You are such a rubbish. You have never been able to do anything to me before, so what can you do to the 6th level of body refining? I'll let you have a tough talk, you loser. I'll let you taste the power of the 6th level of body training today, and I'll completely convince you." Yi Hai said no more and punched Yi Luyun in the face. Several followers next to Yi Hai were watching the fun with gloating. This loser is dead. No matter how thick his skin is, he can't withstand the attack of the 6th level of body refining. That when Yi Luyun saw Yi Hai's punch, he let out a light sigh in his heart. Huh? Why are Yi Hai's movements so slow? Yi Hai's movements became extremely slow in Yi Luyun's eyes. This allowed Yi Luyun to easily avoid Yi Hai's punch. Then he punched back, hitting Yi Hai in the chest. Puff. Click. Yi Hai spurted out a mouthful of blood, and several of his sternums were broken. He was knocked several feet away by Yi Luyun and rolled to the ground. This result made Yi Luyun himself stunned. Is my 4th level of body training that strong? That he knew that Yi Hai had reached the 6th level of body refining, so he didn't dare to be careless, and he tried his best to throw this punch, but I didn't expect the effect to be so good. One punch caused Yi Hai, who was at the 6th level of physical training, to vomit blood. What's going on? At the 6th level of body refining, I was punched away by this loser. Several followers around Yi Hai were also dumbfounded. Yi Hai fell to the ground, his eyes full of horror. Why is this loser so strong? I was actually injured by this loser. How can I hang out in the outside world in the future? No, I must get this place back. Thinking of this, the panic in his eyes turned into anger again. Chapter 3 Rapid Progress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyun has never cared about Yi Hai, and he will not care about this defeated general at this moment. //ncom, now that he has the technique, he doesn't want to waste even a moment. He went directly to Feng Wanru, first told him that he had received some inheritance, and then said, "Auntie, I need gold, earth, and fire or materials for body refining." Yi Luyun knew that his aunt had a lot of weapons refining materials. He wanted to lay a solid foundation first, start with body training, and be the first to complete the introductory training of the immortal hegemony Kung Fu. He had absorbed a lot of water and wood elements in the bathtub before. Now he will use Xianyuan Qi refining technique to absorb gold, earth, fire and other elements, and then use the immortal body cultivation method to concentrate the 5 elements into in the physical body, complete the introductory training of the first level of the immortal hegemonic body. Feng Wanru threw out more than 10 pieces of ore, and then asked Yi Luyun, "Do you know who the person who assassinated you was?" When Yi Luyun mentioned the matter of being assassinated, his eyes narrowed. And a trace of hatred flashed through his eyes. "I guessed it by the smell on her body. But I'll take revenge myself." Feng Wanru nodded, said nothing, lay back on the rocking chair, and picked up the wine gourd. Yi Luyun happily hugged the ore, returned to the back hall, placed the ore around his body, and immediately started practicing cross-legged. Soon, the surface of his body was flashing with 5 colors alternately, gradually integrating into his body and strengthening his skin. Entrance to the first level of the immortal hegemony. The surface skin is invulnerable. I will be much safer from now on. Yi Luyun was a little excited. After practicing this immortal hegemonic body to the end, your body can become a saint and become immortal. The techniques I obtained are indeed very powerful. Then, he studied Dian's soul technique non-stop. This set of exercises has records that the soul can strengthen people's senses, including slowing down other people's movements. Although the exercises at the entry level cannot increase combat effectiveness, they are very practical in battle. The introductory practice of Dian's soul technique is also very simple. It is just a simple use of spiritual consciousness. Use your spiritual consciousness to enhance your sensory functions and at the same time be able to look within yourself. After he learned it, he finally saw clearly the true energy seeds in his own sea of energy, as well as the uneven true energy seeds in his physical body. He even saw the 5 elements contained in the physical body, emitting a faint multicolored light. His own blood also exudes a hint of red light. My bloodline has indeed changed. However, there are only a few strands of red light. It seems that it is still very early for a full awakening. There is still a long way to go before the physical body is full of true energy seeds. When he saw his sea of consciousness, he was shocked. In the sea of consciousness, the order of all gods was suspended in the center, an illusory little man exactly like himself, shining with golden light. Only then did Yi Luyun realize that the person communicating with that stalwart figure was himself in a state of trance. The order of the 10,000 gods was still emitting a faint golden light, nourishing his soul. Yi Luyun, who is currently in a state of cultivation, can detect all things, sounds and smells within 10 meters with his eyes closed, as if he saw, heard and smelled them with his own eyes. It turns out that a strong soul can bring such great benefits. It seems that Yi Hai's movements have slowed down. It must be that the great master used golden light to strengthen my soul. This powerful soul is simply a weapon in battle. It's hard for others to hit me. Moreover, the follow-up skills of Dian's soul technique can also be used to attack with the soul, making it difficult for people to guard against it. However, his bloodline and the order of the gods cannot be exposed for the time being. Even though a common man is innocent, he still understands the reason why he is guilty of carrying a jade. There is a secret method in Dian's soul technique that can deceive other people's spiritual detection and hide the parts that need to be covered up. This secret method has no realm restrictions and is simple and easy to learn. It didn't take Yi Luyun long to learn this secret technique, and then he hit his sea of consciousness. Bloodline and true energy seeds. Yi Luyun has made rapid progress since he awakened his bloodline. It is no longer difficult for him to understand and learn the techniques. For a moment, I was dancing with joy about my achievements. For a young man who had never been exposed to martial arts, it was no wonder that he suddenly had several powerful martial arts. It was no wonder that he couldn't help but be excited, but he calmed down quickly. The year-end clan competition started soon. I was pressed for time and had to seize the time to improve my level. In the past, he was worried that he would be eliminated to the branch. Now that he has the technique, he naturally wants to strive for a better ranking. Thinking of this, he honestly sat down again and began to practice Qi. Yi Luyun kept practicing until dawn. Although there was no breakthrough in his realm, more than 10 true energy seeds were bred in his body. This was even if he deliberately did not break through the realm. Feng Wanru had long told him that the essence of the body refining period was to lay a good physical foundation. Therefore, he wanted to enrich the Xianxia seeds in his body first, so that he would not have time to break through before. Usually, Qi seeds can also increase the power by 30%. He now has so many Xianxia seeds all over his body, and the increase in strength is definitely no worse than the 6th level of body refining. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to improve his level for a while. On the other side, in the residence of the Great Elder, Xianxia was sitting next to the Great Elder. The Elder said, "Xianxia, I heard that Yi Luyan wasn't injured at all, but he even injured Yi Hai with one punch. How is it possible? I clearly pierced his chi. How could it be possible for him to recover so quickly?" Xianxia shouted, her face even paler. The last time she assassinated Yi Luyan, she was injured by a master and had not yet fully recovered. She didn't care that Yi Luyan defeated Yi Hai. In his eyes, it was just a battle between the penultimate and the penultimate. The Great Elder sighed, "Maybe the master you met saved him. Alas, it's all because my father was too impatient and chose a loser for you. There is a chance to change your destiny now. The genius of the Yi family, Yi Qingyun, will be back from the Tianyun Palace soon." Hearing the words Yi Qingyun, Xianxia's heart immediately started to yearn for him. People who can cultivate in Tianyun Palace are not comparable to waste like Yi Luyan. "Don't worry, father. I will never marry that loser. Only a genius like Yi Qingyun is worthy of me." That Xianxia's eyes flashed with fierceness, and then she said to the elder, "Father, although Yi Hai was injured by Yi Luyan, Yi Hai has an older brother, who is ranked third in the outer palace. I will go find him and let him take action." Yi Luyan continued practicing until dawn. He stood up and moved around for a while, then walked to the inner library. The inheritance he received was only some basic skills, without combat skills or body skills. It seemed that the great master did not want him to just follow the old path and needed him to figure out the combat skills on his own. Therefore, he needs to go to the library pavilion to find some combat skills to supplement his shortcomings. In the past, his realm was low and he was not qualified to enter the library. Now that he has reached the 4th level of the body refining stage, he is also qualified to go to the library pavilion to select 2 middle-level yellow-level exercises. As soon as he entered the inner palace, Yi Luyan's keen consciousness heard many people whispering about him. "Isn't this Yi Xianxia's good-for-nothing fiancé? Why did this loser come to the inner palace? Is he going to the library pavilion?" Even with the 3rd level of body refining qualifications, he is not qualified to enter the library pavilion. That Yi Luyan didn't pay attention to the ridicule of these people, but continued on his way with his head held high. He has now received the inheritance and is making rapid progress. I believe his level will improve soon. So I don't care what these people say. Chapter 4: The Sharp Edge is revealed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Stop. You are not qualified to enter the library. In front of the library, 2 guards recognized him at a glance and stopped him. Yi Luyan used his spiritual sense to scan the 2 guards. They were both at the 6th level of body refining and had not yet condensed the true chi seed. I have broken through to the 4th level of body refining. Come to the elder to get the skills. Hey! A waste of the 3rd level of body refining for thousands of years can also break through. One of them laughed, the other one also said impatiently, "Get out of here quickly, don't make trouble here." Whether it is the 4th level of body refining, he will naturally have an explanation after seeing the elder. Yi Luyan didn't want to waste time with them and wanted to go directly to the elder. A guard saw this and his eyes became more and more cold, shouting, "Can you force your way in?" "Force your way in?" That Yi Luyan suddenly sneered. He didn't believe that the elders in the library didn't notice the situation here. But he didn't say anything to stop the guards, presumably because he thought he was not qualified to go in. "Then we can only use strength to speak," Yi Luyan said, and stepped directly into the hall. What? He really wants to force his way in. Some people around stopped and watched the excitement. Looking for death. A guard laughed grimly, and the true energy in his body burst out. His palms were like claws, and with sharp true energy, he whistled towards Yi Luyan. If the previous Yi Luyan was caught, his skin would be torn apart. Even if he didn't become disabled, his muscles and bones would be injured. Get out! Yi Luyan suddenly shouted coldly and punched. However, the guard's attack route was seen very clearly by Yi Luyan, and he dodged sideways. Bang! Ah! A figure was thrown out with a scream. The guard who took action was beaten out without even making a move to resist, and coughed up blood. And when he activated his true energy, the fourth level of body refining was also revealed. Another guard looked at Yi Luyun in horror, completely intimidated by his aura, and was at a loss. Fourth level of physical training. But how can he be so strong? He asked in a trembling voice. Yi Luyun was very satisfied with his perception and strength, and was secretly happy in his heart. You look down on others, that Yi Luyun ignored his question, sarcastically said, and walked into the main hall of the library. The elder guarding the hall had already discovered the situation outside, and was looking at Yi Luyun in surprise at the moment. It's incredible. Everyone said that Yi Luyun was a waste, but he was able to defeat the guard of the 6th level of physical training with the realm of the 4th level of physical training. Elder, I broke through the 4th level of physical training and came to choose a practice. Yi Luyun clasped his fists slightly. The elder guarding the hall slowed down and smiled. The stronger the family disciples were, the happier he was. Okay. What practice do you want to choose? Let me help you with some reference. That the elder also became interested and personally took Yi Luyun to the first floor of the library to choose. Although Yi Luyun didn't have a good impression of the elder, it was better to have someone to guide him than to wander around blindly, so he said, then I'll trouble you, elder. I want to choose a boxing skill and a body technique. Well, you haven't chosen a technique before, but you can actually choose two. The elder guarding the hall realized at this time that Yi Luyun had never learned any technique before, and couldn't help but think more highly of him. I see that you have strong true energy and no attribute bias, so I recommend you to choose powerful boxing techniques such as Kaishan Fist, Collapsing Dragon Fist, and Jiu Dai Lang. As for body techniques, there is no big difference. You can choose a middle-grade yellow-level body technique. You can only choose it on the first floor, and the time limit is 1 hour. The elder also pointed out the location of the body techniques and boxing techniques to facilitate his selection. So Yi Luyun didn't spend much time to choose the 2 middle-grade yellow-level 9-level waves and follow the wind step. The level of the skills in Sanyan continent is divided into 4 levels, heaven, earth, black, and yellow, with the lowest level being yellow. Each level is divided into 4 grades, top grade, upper grade, middle grade, and lower grade. The classification of elixirs, weapons, etc. is also the same system. The Yi family's yellow-level middle grade and above skills are all on the 2nd floor of the library. He is not qualified to go there now, so he can only practice these 2 skills first. As for the yellow-level top grade, I am afraid that only the top disciples in the inner palace are qualified to learn. As for the Xian-level skills, he didn't even know if there were any in the Yi mansion. Yi Luyun didn't care so much. He learned whatever he had first, registered with the elders guarding the hall, and walked back excitedly. As soon as he walked out of the inner palace, he was stopped by someone. Are you Yi Luyun? A burly disciple looked him up and down with a look of disdain. Yi Luyun looked closely and found that he didn't know this person. But the few people around him were all Yi Hai's followers. He immediately thought that this person should be Yi Hai's brother, Yi Tao, who ranked 3rd in the outer palace. Yi Hai dared to act recklessly in the outer palace just by relying on his brother. The disciples around him all avoided the situation and whispered to each other. Yi Tao has reached the 7th level of body refinement now. He will definitely have no problem entering the inner palace this time. This loser is going to be unlucky today. How could Yi Tao let him go after he injured Yi Hai? Seeing that Yi Luyun didn't say anything, Yi Tao thought he was afraid and became even more arrogant. You hurt Yi Hai so badly. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving. Yi Luyun didn't show any fear when he heard this. Instead, he laughed. Excuse me? He asked for it. He provoked himself, but his skills are not as good as others, so he wants to explain it. You two brothers are too shameless. Yi Tao's expression changed instantly. What a loser, how dare you humiliate him in public? He immediately said angrily, are you looking for death? Don't think that defeating Yi Hai gives you the right to act arrogantly in front of me. To me, dealing with you is like crushing an ant. That when the disciples around him heard this, their expressions changed, and they couldn't help but feel sorry for Yi Luyun. Although Yi Luyun is right, this world is not about reason, but about strength. Seeing that Yi Tao couldn't hold back anymore, he was about to take action. Yi Luyan took the initiative and said, "I don't have time to quarrel with you. There will be a battle on the stage of life and death in 3 days, so you don't bother me every 2 days." That with a coax, the surrounding crowd exploded. Is this kid crazy? He wants to go to the stage of life and death with Yi Tao. This loser has always been tough. It's a pity that this time it's Yi Tao, not Yi Hai. That even Yi Tao was surprised. Then he laughed and said, "Okay, you said so. See you on the stage of life and death in 3 days. Yi Tao, who originally wanted to take action, was not in a hurry now. After all, there were family rules, so he didn't dare to be too harsh. But when it comes to the stage of life and death, he can do whatever he wants. He had already promised Yi Xinyu to help her get rid of this trash. Isn't this an opportunity? Then let you live for 3 more days." Yi Tao sneered in his heart. Yi Luyan was full of confidence, and he strode away in front of everyone's surprised eyes. He dared to challenge Yi Tao for a fight, not because of pride. He had just scanned Yi Tao with his spiritual consciousness, but he had not yet condensed the true energy seeds. Even if he takes action now, there will be no problem in saving his life under Yi Tao. I will take advantage of these 3 days to work harder, practice my boxing and body skills, and coupled with the power of my senses and blood, I will be able to defeat Waifu, who is ranked 3rd. Yi Luyan did not take this battle lightly, and immediately started studying the skills he had just retrieved after returning. The characteristic of the boxing method Judilang is that the power of the punches can be accumulated, each punch is heavier than the last, and finally the power of the 9 punches can be superimposed. The Sui Feng step is a light body technique that is easier to learn. Yi Luyan quickly learned the basic level. The reason why he learns quickly is not only because his soul is now powerful, and his memory, comprehension and other abilities have become stronger, also because he often practices boxing with puppets, has been exposed to different boxing techniques, has a solid foundation in boxing, and has a much deeper understanding of boxing skills. This puppet was given to him by Feng Wanru. Not only does he know many kung fu techniques, he can also imitate and improve his opponent's kung fu techniques. He is an excellent sparring partner. Chapter 5 Sensation in the Foreign Government. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the next 3 days, under the guidance and sparring of the puppet, Yi Luyan's boxing skills improved rapidly, reaching Xiaocheng, and his body skills were also close to Xiaocheng. 520 official website. Yi Luyan has not relaxed at all these days. He didn't even sleep anymore and just practiced training instead. He found that after practicing, he was very energetic and did not need to sleep at all. Even while eating, he was familiarizing himself with the control of his spiritual consciousness, practicing the Dian Soul technique while eating. Even so, he still felt that his progress was slow. With the help of pills, cultivation should be much faster, right? After taking care of Yi Tao, I will start learning to make pills. Yi Luyan decided secretly in his heart. Feng Wanru didn't let him take pills before. But since his bloodline awakened, he has been released from the ban. However, it is still suggested that it is best to learn to make alchemy by yourself, once and for all, instead of taking ordinary body refining pills. Although Yi Luyan didn't mention the 10,000 god order to her, he didn't hide the fact about obtaining the skill from Feng Wanru. Feng Wanru also gave him some guidance. 3 days passed quickly. On the appointed day, Yi Tao came to the life and death platform early to wait for Yi Luyan. Yi Hai has recovered somewhat from his injuries in the past few days and came to watch the game. Brother, don't let that kid die so easily. Torture him properly. Yi Hai smiled evilly. I thought to myself, this good for nothing, if he wants to fight against my brother, he just doesn't know how to live or die. Yi Tao is also thinking about good things at this moment. If I kill Yi Luyan this time, maybe Yi Xinyu will favor me. After a while, several people around Yi Hai complained, why doesn't that trash come? Isn't it because he is afraid of death that he doesn't dare to come? Maybe. How dare you come here when you know you're going to die? Another person echoed, it's not certain who will die. At this time, Yi Luyan's voice came and his figure appeared in everyone's sight. Seeing him appear, Yi Hai shouted excitedly, why bother, you will die sooner or later. Yi Tao couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he saw that Yi Luyan really dared to come. It was as if he had already seen Xianxia waving to him. I thought you were going to be a coward, but I didn't expect you to actually show up. Then come up and die. After Yi Tao finished speaking, he couldn't wait to jump onto the stage of life and death. There are elders sitting here all year round beside the life and death stage, and they also serve as witnesses to the competition between the two sides. After Yi Luoyun came on stage, he saw that both sides were ready, so he activated the protective formation to prevent outsiders from interfering, and then shouted start. Seeing that Yi Luoyun couldn't run away, Yi Tao was not in a hurry to take action. He smiled ferociously at Yi Luoyun and said, "You are such a loser. If Xianxia marries you, it will be a shame to our Yi family. Let me borrow your head today to help Xianxia and I." Upon hearing the words Xianxia, Yi Luoyun's eyes immediately became sharp. From what he meant, it seemed that he was not standing up purely for Yi Hai, but for Xianxia. It seems that Xianxia is involved in this. In fact, he has always felt bad about Xianxia. Xianxia has never given him a good look in the past few years, and often instigates her suitors to cause trouble for Yi Luoyun. In the past, those were just small fights, and Yi Luoyun didn't take them to heart, but this time Xianxia personally assassinated him. He wouldn't just let it go. He originally just wanted to teach Yi Tao a lesson, but since Yi Tao was mixed up with Xianxia, he didn't mind sending Yi Tao on his way. On the ring, Yi Tao's true energy was already surging all over his body at this time. The aura of the 7th level of body refining was exuded, and he punched Yi Luoyun, bringing with him a gust of wind. There were not many people watching in the audience. Most of them thought that Yi Luoyun could not survive 3 moves by Yi Tao and would definitely die, so they thought there was nothing to watch. The only people who came were Yi Hai and the few followers around him. Seeing Yi Tao take action, they all cheered. Brother Yi Tao's meteor fist is so powerful. Is it already mature? Yeah. This loser probably can't even take a punch. Yi Luoyun immediately moved and followed the wind, circling with Yi Tao. Coupled with his super spiritual consciousness, he was able to avoid 3 attacks from Yi Tao. Yi Hai saw Yi Luoyun's movement, but his expression was a little ugly. When did this loser learn to follow the wind? He hit it deep enough. Yi Tao on the stage also discovered that Yi Luoyun's body skills had already reached the level of Deshang. Isn't this trash a technique that has not been practiced? I didn't expect it to be hidden. Humph. You are good at hiding your clumsiness. But at this level, it's still not good enough. He snorted coldly and stepped up the pace of his attack. He felt that he had much more energy than Yi Luoyun, so he didn't care about the consumption at all. Yi Luoyun just wanted to understand his strength and try his skills, and did not want to hide blindly. Seeing him hit him with a punch at this time, it was full of flaws in his eyes. He thought to himself, is this the 3rd level in the foreign government? Immediately Yi Luoyun took action, leaned sideways against Yi Tao's punch, and responded with a punch, hitting Yi Tao's right rib. Yi Tao said ah and his body bent over in pain. Although Yi Luoyun was new to boxing, he had been practicing with puppets for many years and could easily see Yi Tao's flaws. In fact, it wasn't that Yi Tao's boxing skills were too poor, but that the metal puppet was too strong. Even if he hasn't learned any boxing skills now, ordinary kung fu techniques can't help him, especially after his consciousness was released. Yi Tao's movements became even slower in his eyes. Yi Hai and the followers in the audience were so shocked that their eyes almost fell out. This trash can actually hurt Yi Tao. Yi Tao was taken a few steps back and shouted with an ugly face, a couple of times. I was just careless for a moment, don't be complacent. You are dead today. You are still talking nonsense when you are about to die. Yi Luoyun didn't show any signs of weakness. He walked as fast as the wind and followed Yi Tao to attack closely. Yi Tao hurriedly moved to parry, but Yi Luoyun floated to his back like the wind and hit him with a 9-fold wave. He has only practiced the 3-fold wave of the 9-fold wave so far, which is the effect of stacking 3 punches. He is now at the 4th level of body refining. 1 punch has a power of 400 kilograms, and 3 punches stacked together have a power of 1,200 kilograms. Coupled with the increase in the energy seeds in Yi Luoyun's body, this fist has a power of nearly 1,500 kilograms. Beating Yi Tao is enough. With a bang sound, the punch hit Yi Tao's vest. Yi Tao was knocked away by his punch, spitting out a mouthful of blood in mid-air and fell to the ground. Yi Luyan suddenly felt that fighting Yi Tao was a complete waste of time. This guy was no match for him at all. Thinking of this, he followed up with the wind and punched Yi Tao in the back. Since it was a life-and-death battle, there was no need for him to hold back. And this is also a warning to people like Yi Hai, don't mess with him in the future. Before Yi Tao could get up, his heart was shattered. He fell down on the ring again, motionless. Yi Hai's group of people in the audience all had their mouths opened, and they were all dumbfounded. They never expected that such a result would occur. The third member of the Yi family's family was actually beaten to death by a loser in just 2 punches. Yi Hai collapsed on the ground, completely confused. Yi Luyan turned around and stepped off the stage, walking towards Yi Hai. Yi Hai felt cold and frightened all over when he took one look at him, and his pants immediately became wet. Don't mess with me in the future. Yi Luyan was too lazy to do anything to him, he just warned him and left. Now even Yi Tao is not his opponent, how could he take Yi Hai seriously? After Yi Luyan left, the news that Yi Tao was beaten to death by 2 punches spread immediately, causing a sensation in the entire foreign government. Chapter 6 Selling Pills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Yi Tao was killed by Yi Luyan? Did you hear that right? That when many people heard the news, their first reaction was disbelief. The same goes for the Great Elder. At this moment, he was asking Yi Xinyu in surprise. Yi Xinyu also sighed and said, I originally thought that it must be Yi Luyan who died, so I didn't go to see it at all. What a pity, let me rejoice in vain. Yi Tao is a waste. That the Great Elder still didn't quite believe this result. Even if he is at the 4th level of body refining, he can't kill the 7th level of body refining, right? This is too exaggerated, Yi Xinyu said helplessly, it can't be wrong. I also heard that he once injured a guard at the 6th level of body refining in the library pavilion with 1 punch. If this is the case, it means that this kid has hidden his strength before. The elder thought for a while, frowned and said, I didn't expect this kid to be so scheming. We must get rid of him as soon as possible, and we can't let him delay your marriage. Yi Qingyun. Yi Xinyu also nodded cautiously. Said, Father, don't worry. The clan competition will be here soon. I have contacted some senior brothers and will attack him in the clan competition arena. After Yi Luyan defeated Yi Tao, he went back and started preparing for alchemy. Just relying on yourself to practice is still slow. You must have the assistance of elixirs to improve your level quickly. He searched for the information in his mind and found the prescription for the Gu Yuan Dan for the body refining period. All warriors in Sanyin continent take body refining pills during the body refining period. The body refining pill has the effect of strengthening the body, contains sufficient spiritual energy, and can assist martial arts practitioners in improving their realm. The effect of Gu Yuan Dan not only includes the effect of body refining pill, but also has the effect of strengthening blood vessels and stabilizing true energy, in which the spiritual energy is more abundant and there are fewer impurities. Much more advanced than the body refining pill, he wrote a list of medicinal materials according to the prescription of Gu Yuan Dan, and asked Feng Wanru to help purchase the medicinal materials. All the money was in Feng Wanru's hand, and he didn't have a single crystal coin in his hand. Feng Wanru looked at the prescription and her eyes lit up. But he didn't say anything, and bought the medicinal materials not long after. He also bought Yi Luyan an alchemy furnace and gave him a fire control array disc so that he could make alchemy by himself in the future. Yi Luyan never expected this, so he naturally thanked Feng Wanru profusely and flattered her for a while. In the next 2 days or so, Yi Luyan began to try to make alchemy. Naturally, the first few times failed one after another. Later, Feng Wanru couldn't stand it anymore and pointed out several key issues to him. Yi Luyan didn't expect that his aunt knew how to make alchemy, but he didn't ask further. Because every time I asked about my aunt's realm and some of her situations, she would avoid talking about it. Moreover, Yi Luyan was in the excitement of refining elixir at this time, so he naturally left this issue for later. Lien Tianho didn't stop until all the medicinal ingredients he had prepared were used up. At this time, the Gu Yuan pills in Yi Luyan's hand included 7 top-grade yellow pills, 12 high-grade yellow pills, 21 middle-grade yellow pills, and 17 low-grade yellow pills. In fact, refining alchemy is not difficult for him, as long as he can use the fire control array disc if necessary. There is a human-shaped shadow in his mind refining elixirs, and all he has to do is imitate and learn. If he were asked to learn pharmacology and medicinal materials from scratch, he would not learn it so quickly. Looking at the finished elixir refined by Yi Luyun, Feng Wanru was also shocked. "You little brat, you were able to refine a top-quality elixir of the Huang rank in just over 2 days. It seems like you're not too useless." Feng Wanru saw Yi Luyun's rapid progress these days and couldn't help but praise him. Yi Luyun's beauty almost reached the sky. It's not easy to get praise from my aunt. But now the medicinal materials are gone. And those pills that were just refined obviously couldn't support Yi Luyun's cultivation for long. Yi Luyun thought for a while and came up with a solution. "Anyway, I already know how to make elixirs, so why not sell the defective products to replace them with medicinal materials, and then only eat the best ones?" Thinking of this, Yi Luyun rushed to Wanbao Pavilion while there was still time in the afternoon. Wanbao Pavilion is the largest chain of merchants in the dynasty. It has an excellent reputation and can buy and sell various items. Its power also far exceeds the 3 major forces in Fengyang City, the Yi family, the Mo family, and the Qin family of the city lord's palace. However, Wanbao Pavilion usually keeps a low profile, never participates in the competition between the 3 major forces, and cooperates with the 3 major local forces. Some of the weapons and elixirs refined by the Yi family are sold to Wanbao Pavilion. Yi Luyun appeared at the door of Wanbao Pavilion dressed in coarse cloth. No one came to greet him among the beautiful shopping guides at the door. Shopping guides mainly focus on making money and are willing to serve rich people. The richer they are, the more likely they are to trade expensive things, and the bigger their commissions will be. In the end, there was only a new shopping guide. When he came out and saw him, he came over and asked, "Sir, I am Yuer, the shopping guide here. Are you here to buy something, or do you have something to sell?" "I have some pills that I want to sell first, and then I need to buy some medicinal materials." "Sorry, Miss Yuer," Yi Luyun said politely. "You're welcome, sir. Please come with me. I'll take you to an alchemist to identify the elixir first," Yuer said as she led Yi Luyun into the Chamber of Commerce. Yi Luyun walked into Wanbao Pavilion and heard the sarcasm of other shopping guides. "A poor boy pretends to be a young master. Yeah, looking at that poor guy, he definitely won't earn much commission." Yi Luyun didn't care after hearing this. They are just a few shopping guides, there is no need to be angry with them. Wanbao Pavilion currently has a Xian-level alchemist named Lu in charge. Alchemists of this level are already second to none in Fengyang City. Many people came here to ask him to make elixirs. At this moment, a young man and a woman stood respectfully in front of alchemist Lu, asking some questions about alchemy. Shopping guide Yuer stepped forward, saluted Master Lu and said, "Master Lu, there is a young man here to sell the elixir, and I would like to trouble you to identify it." Alchemist Lu and the 2 men all looked at Yi Luyun. After looking at it for a while, Master Lu Dan said from his nostrils and said nothing. Further, when the young man opposite him saw Master Lu's attitude, he immediately understood what Master Lu meant and said, "Where did you come from, a wild boy who doesn't even know your identity and dares to let Master Lu do an appraisal for you?" Yi Luyun was also very angry. Why are there such contemptuous things everywhere? He ignored the young man and asked Alchemist Lu, "What? Wanbao Pavilion still has to look at people's clothes before they can do business." Alchemist Lu's face immediately darkened, but he couldn't say anything to refute. He did act a bit too much in front of these 2 juniors just now. The young man observed his words and felt that this was his chance to show off. He has always wanted to become Master Lu Alchemy as his master and learn alchemy. He immediately shouted to Yi Luyun, bold, "Master Lu, is this someone like you who can question this?" Yi Luyun was also a master who was not willing to be outdone, and immediately scolded, "I'm doing business with Wanbao Pavilion, what does it have to do with you? Who do you think you are, why are you barking there? You dare to scold me? Do you know who I am?" The young man was so angry that his face turned ugly. "You can scold yourself. I don't care who you are. Yi Luyun retorted directly. You are looking for death. As he said that, the young man became furious and suddenly slapped Yi Luyun on the chest with his palm. Yi Luyun didn't expect that he would dare to take action in Wanbao Pavilion. Wanbao Pavilion has rules, no one is allowed to do anything in the pavilion. At the critical moment, Yi Luyun's consciousness and energy exploded. He ducked sideways to avoid the palm, and punched out, hitting the boy's right chest directly. The young man did not expect that Yi Luyun would dare to fight back, and so quickly. He was beaten by Yi Luyun until a mouthful of blood spurted out and he fell to the sky. Chapter 7 Zika VIP. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Judalang. Are you from the Yi family? As soon as Yi Luyun made a move, Master Lu recognized Yi Luyun's boxing technique. Senior brother. The woman next to him also hurried over and helped the young man up. Fortunately, the young man was at the 7th level of physical training and had a very good foundation. Yi Luyun also took action in a hurry, so he was not seriously injured. But now I was shivering with pain. Stop! Who dares to do anything in Wanbao Pavilion? That the two of them were about to take action again when a female voice came. He followed the sound and saw a graceful young woman, followed by an old man wearing the clothes of an elder from Wanbao Pavilion, walking slowly over. This woman was 18 or 19 years old, but her appearance was stunning and her temperament was outstanding, which made him lose consciousness for a moment. Young master. Alchemist Lu and Yuer saluted the woman together. Yi Luyun was also surprised. I didn't expect that this woman was actually the young master who came to Wanbao Pavilion. What happened? Although the young woman known as the young master has a smile on her face, she exudes a powerful aura of the true Yuan realm, giving people an irresistible pressure. At the same time, Yi Luyun still felt a pressure of divine consciousness on her and the elders' bodies, making his soul tremble, but at this time, the token of all gods and the consciousness sea suddenly glowed with golden light, helping him block the pressure. Yi Luyun also knew that these two people were not simple. At least this wave of consciousness was different from the people he had met before. Alchemist Lu in front of everyone knew that he was in the wrong and did not dare to reply. Yuer had no choice but to tell exactly what happened just now, not daring to hide anything. Yi Luyun always stood there calmly, without any panic. Others, on the other hand, were sitting on pins and needles under the double pressure of this aura and spiritual consciousness. The woman and the old man behind her couldn't help but marvel in secret and couldn't help but look at him differently. It seemed that the sudden burst of spiritual power just now came from him. Could it be that there are people cultivating the soul in a place like this? The young woman looked at Yi Luyun and asked curiously, is the young master from the Yi family? The Dan Tang has always been responsible for contacting us for the elixir supplied by the Yi family. Yi family, Yi Luyun, I have met the young master of Wanbao Pavilion. I refined this elixir myself, not from the elixir hall. Yi Luyun said, neither humble nor arrogant. It turns out to be that famous loser from the Yi family. What kind of good elixir can you make? How dare you come here to show off? That the young man who had just been beaten had obviously heard of Yi Luyun's name, and couldn't help but interrupt again, with even more disdain in his words. Senior brother. The girl next to him pulled his sleeve, obviously feeling that he was talking too much. He also made an apologetic expression to Yi Luyun. Mo Tianyi, watch your mouth. Besides, you took the initiative in Wanbao Pavilion and broke the rules of Wanbao Pavilion. You must give me an explanation today, that the young master said coldly. Even she disliked Mo Tianyi's talkativeness. Moreover, if she does not handle it impartially, this matter will also reduce the reputation of their Wanbao Pavilion. It turns out to be Mo Tianyi from the Mo family, no wonder he is so arrogant. Yi Luyun had heard of this Mo Tianyi, who was said to be a top-ranked genius in the Mo family's family, one of the three major aristocratic families. Mo Tianyi was also dumbfounded at this moment. He was used to being arrogant in the city, and for a moment he forgot the rules of Wanbao Pavilion. He looked at Alchemist Lu as if asking for help. Master Lu lowered his head and ignored him. The impression of Mo Tianyi in his heart also became extremely bad. When the woman next to Mo Tianyi saw this, she quickly interceded for Mo Tianyi. Wanbao Pavilion is not something they can afford to offend. Young master, Mr. Yi, I am Mo Yuqing from the Mo family. For my sake, can you forgive my senior brother for once? He just has a bad temper, but he is actually not a bad person. Mo Yuqing. Yi Luyan recited the name silently in his mind, and had some impression that she was the daughter of the head of the Mo family. Yi Luyan shrugged and said, I don't care. It's just that you, senior brother, don't have a bad temper, but you have a bad mouth and a mean person. Yi Luyan's salty words almost made everyone present laugh. Mo Yuqing also tried her best not to laugh. Then she looked at the woman again with pleading eyes. When the woman saw Yi Luyan, she didn't mind anymore and didn't want to waste more time on Mo Tianyi. What she is more interested in now is Yi Luyan, so she said, Mo Tianyi is never allowed to step into Wanbao Pavilion again. You should leave quickly, we still have business to discuss. Thank you, young master. Thank you, Mr. Yi. Mo Yuqing said, pulling Mo Tianyi out of Wanbao Pavilion. Mo Tianyi has never been so embarrassed. Not only did he need his junior sister to intercede on his behalf, but he was also made fun of in public by his enemies. He already hated Yi Luyan in his heart. However, Yi Luyan was invited into the VIP room by the young master of Wanbao Pavilion, and alchemist Lu appraised the pill that Yi Luyan took out. My name is Liang Shui. I see that you are younger than me. If you don't mind, how about you call me Sister Liang? This beautiful young master actually took the initiative to introduce herself. Okay, then I'll give Sister Liang the upper hand. He felt that calling Liang Shui directly was a bit awkward, so he chose to call her sister. Alchemist Lu looked at the pill at this time. His expression had changed from contempt and disdain at first to caution, and finally to shock, and even his voice was trembling a little. This is, the lost Gu Yuan Dan. Seeing Yi Luyan nodding in confirmation, Liang Shui also stood up, took a pill and looked at it. Then he asked, Master Yi, did you really refine this elixir yourself? Yes, it's guaranteed to be genuine. Yi Luyan guessed in his heart, it seems that this pill is very unusual. It should fetch a good price. Liang Shui was also thinking that Yi Luyan not only practiced spiritual consciousness, but also refined this lost elixir. There must be an expert behind him, and he could make friends with him, but she immediately asked, Master Yi, can the recipe of this elixir be traded? Yi Luyan smiled and said, sorry, I won't sell the prescription. If we can cooperate with Wanbao Pavilion for a long time, we will never have to worry about medicinal materials again. How could Yi Luyan sell the prescription and kill the goose to get the eggs? Liang Shui didn't have much hope for the pill recipe. She just asked casually, so she didn't show any disappointment. She took out a purple card and said to Yi Luyan, Master Yi, as long as you agree that this elixir will only be supplied to us in the future, you will be a purple card level VIP of Wanbao Pavilion from now on. With this purple card, you can enjoy a 20% discount on all businesses under Wanbage. Yi Luyan took the purple card in astonishment, feeling a little scared in his heart. The price hasn't been decided yet, why do you give me a discount card first? He didn't know the meaning of this purple card. However, Yuer and Master Lu beside him were so shocked that their mouths opened wide. Yi Luyan could also tell from the expressions on their faces that this purple card seemed very precious, but Yi Luyan was still more concerned about the price of this elixir at the moment, otherwise he would have no idea, so he asked anxiously, Sister Liang, it's okay to supply the elixir only to you, but you haven't told me the price yet? You are a little money addict. Are you afraid that your sister will lose money to you? Liang Shui smiled so hard that her eyes were like crescent moons, and the branches on her body were trembling, making Yi Luyan blush a little. At the same time, Liang Shui also exuded a spiritual power, spreading towards Yi Luyan. Within Yi Luyan's sea of consciousness, the order of all gods reacted immediately to keep Yi Luyan awake. Yi Luyan also realized how scary Liang Shui was and quickly stepped back. Seeing that he was not affected, Liang Shui confirmed his spiritual ability, and immediately stopped teasing him and said directly, Huanjie Gu Yuan Dan, the best elixir is 10,000 crystal coins, the top-grade elixir is 5,000 crystal coins, the middle-grade elixir is 3,000 crystal coins, and the low-grade elixir is 1,000 crystal coins. The total of your elixirs is 140,000 crystal coins. This one, are you satisfied with the price? That the price given by Xianxia was already 10 times that of the body training pill. Based on this calculation, Yi Luyun can not only collect enough medicinal materials, but also earn a large amount of crystal coins. Chapter 8 Storage Ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyun immediately signed a cooperation contract with Xianxia. // that he also added a clause in the contract that all commissions from the elixir transactions would be counted as yours, which could also be regarded as a thank you to her shopping guide. For this, Yuer was so grateful that she almost knelt down to thank Yi Luyun. From this business alone, Yuer earned a commission of thousands of crystal coins, which was enough for an ordinary family to live for several months. Not to mention there will be more in the future. After trading the elixirs, Yi Luyun asked Yuer to get a pen and paper and write down some of the medicinal materials and quantities he needed. The medicinal materials Yi Luyun wrote include those for refining Guyu and Dan, as well as medicinal materials for refining healing, detoxification, body refining elixirs and medicinal liquids. It is impossible to guess the recipe of Guyu and Dan. So he wasn't afraid of them knowing. He only spent a total of 60,000 crystal coins to purchase these medicinal materials, and he still had 80,000 crystal coins left in his hand. Before leaving, Yuer sent him out of Wanbao Pavilion. She was worried that Yi Luyun would not know the meaning of this purple card, so she specifically told him, "Sir, not even the head of a big family in Fengyang City is qualified to own this purple card." Ah! Yi Luyun was also shocked. He didn't expect this purple card to be so precious. Aside from discounts, what else can this card do? He asked quickly. This card can be used in all Wanbao Pavilion's properties, and it can also allow pavilion masters from all over the country to help you with it 3 times. I'm not sure about the others. If you have a chance in the future, you can ask the young master. Yuer's knowledge was limited, but the information she told was enough to attract Yi Luyun's attention. If you can get the pavilion master to help you 3 times, that's equivalent to 3 life-saving opportunities. He put the purple card away, thanked Yuer, and then returned to Ye's house. In Wanbao Pavilion, Master Lu asked Xianxia in confusion, "Young master, I heard that Yi Luyun is a waste in the Yi family, and besides, the grade of this elixir is not high. Isn't it a bit too much to give this Zika to him? Do you pay attention to him?" Xianxia asked back. Can a waste cross the 3rd level and injure Mtlnovel? Can a waste refine a lost elixir? Xianxia made Master Lu speechless with just 2 words, then she snorted coldly and said, "You violated Wanbao Pavilion's rules for treating guests, go down and receive the punishment yourself." Yes. Alchemist Lu didn't dare to speak any more and retreated obediently. Xianxia turned around and asked the old man behind her, "Uncle Su, my brother's spirit seems to be stronger than mine." "That's right. But he doesn't seem to know how to use it. He must be born with it and has never practiced it." The old man known as Uncle Su bowed and replied. Xianxia hummed, and then ordered, "Please pay attention to the news about my younger brother, and let me know at any time." Yes. Uncle Su agreed and retreated. Although Yi Luyun's top-quality yellow-grade elixir was hidden in his arms and not taken out, Xianxia's consciousness had already discovered it, but he had not broken it. Yi Luyun carried a lot of medicinal materials and walked back happily, feeling that his steps were much lighter. I found a way to make a fortune. I won't have to worry about elixirs anymore. From this elixir business, Yi Luyun made a net profit of more than 80,000 crystal coins. But he also felt that he was carrying too many things and it was too conspicuous. I have to make a storage space for myself. He knew that Feng Wanru had a storage ring that could hold a lot of things, so he searched for the information in his mind and found that there was indeed a way to refine storage space, and it was not difficult. Find another way to make a fortune. Yi Luyun felt excited again and was immersed in it. Items such as storage space are considered rare in Fengyang City. Those who can wear storage rings are at least senior elders and heads of major aristocratic families. So the price is naturally high. Yi Luyun had been thinking about refining the storage ring, so much so that after he entered the Yi family, he didn't even notice that the disciples looked at him differently. After he defeated Yi Tao, he became famous outside the country, but he was the only one who felt nothing. As soon as he returned to the back hall of the Qi Hall, he immediately found Feng Wanru and asked, "Auntie, I want to refine a storage ring. Do you have the space nest wood and the cross-border stone in your hand?" Feng Wanru casually took out a piece of wood and a stone and threw them to Yi Luyan. "You really have it?" Yi Luyan exclaimed and asked with a playful smile, "Auntie, what other treasures do you have in that ring? Can you show me?" "What a beautiful idea." Feng Wanru rolled her eyes at him and ignored him. There is not much age difference between the two of them, and they often bicker on weekdays, which adds a lot of fun to boring days. Next, Yi Luyan first took a Huang-level top-notch Gu Yuan Dan and started practicing, but he found that the elixir required almost no effort on his part to refine and was easily absorbed, with the energy contained in this elixir. He condensed more than 10 true energy seeds in his body, seeing that it didn't take much energy to refine the elixir. He simply took another elixir, then took out the fire control array plate, the elixir furnace, and several metal ores to start refining the storage ring. He doesn't have a special cauldron for refining weapons, but he just thinks that alchemy furnaces and weapon furnaces are similar and can be used for dealing with them. The first time he made a weapon, he didn't dare to use many materials. He just used ordinary pig iron and added a little space nest wood after refining. Unexpectedly, it was completed very smoothly. However, due to the small amount of wood added to the nest, the inner space of the ring is only 1 foot square, and it cannot hold too many things. He was not satisfied with this experimental product and planned to keep it and sell it. As for the storage ring he used, he decided to refining it, and this time he also added a cross-border stone. The main function of the crossover stone is to connect the inner and outer spaces of the ring. In this way, his ring can contain living creatures. As raw material, he did not choose ordinary pig iron, but used a black gold ore given to him by his aunt. In this way, the refining and purification time will be much longer, but the space-carrying capacity of the ring will also be much greater. Then, he used his soul to control the purified black gold to change into a ring form, and then gradually integrated it into the space nest wood and the cross-border stone. Then, he uses his spiritual consciousness to carve defensive inscriptions and identification inscriptions on the ring. In this way, the ring will not be damaged even if it is attacked during battle, and others will not be able to open his ring. Yi Luyan made every step very carefully. By 10 minutes past midnight, the ring was formed. The internal space is 10 feet square, comparable to a small treasure house. Yi Luyan couldn't wait to use his spiritual consciousness to identify the ring's owner. He was so excited that he put whatever he encountered into it. He didn't even let go of the metal puppet. When he loaded his own sledgehammer, he was suddenly stunned. "I am very familiar with this sledgehammer. If I use it in battle..." Thinking of this, he picked up the sledgehammer, used his true energy, danced, and swung the sledgehammer until it was like the wind. The sledgehammer was already heavy, and coupled with Yi Luyan's current strength, every time the hammer was struck, it was much more powerful than his judyarang. "Sure enough, my aunt taught me the hammering technique for blacksmithing. It is perfectly fine to use against the enemy. It is both offensive and defensive. This is a complete set of martial arts skills." Originally, he was worried that someone would use high-level martial arts to crush him during the clan competition. Now with this hammer technique, it is enough to defy any Yi family disciple's technique. Even if he encounters an opponent with weapons, he doesn't have to worry about losing. Now that you have high-level martial arts and weapons, all that's left is to improve your level. As for the soul, he found that although the soul was a little tired after refining the weapon, it would become stronger afterwards. It seems that refining weapons and elixirs consumes the soul, so it is also a kind of exercise. For the soul. Chapter 9: Participating in the clan competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He planned to absorb all the remaining 5 Huang-level top-quality solid yuan pills before dawn. By then, even if the realm does not change, the true energy will be much more abundant. But when he took another pill, his realm uncontrollably broke through to the 5th level of body refining. 5th level of body refining. Breakthrough again. Compared with before, this breakthrough is simply too fast. While Yi Luyan sighed, he discovered that the true energy seeds in the Sea of Qi emits a brighter and dazzling light because they contain both true energy and mysterious energy. he felt that this special qi in his body was definitely much more powerful than the qi alone. And it consumes much less when used. He did not stop and continued to take the elixir, directly absorbing all the remaining elixirs. And there were a lot more true energy seeds in his body. In fact, his method of taking the elixir was only his bloodline could tolerate. If it had been anyone else, he would have been so strong by the spiritual energy that he would have exploded and died. But he didn't feel anything at all. It seems that his body is naturally very affinity to spiritual energy and can absorb any amount of spiritual energy. Yi Luyan estimated that after taking a few more pills, the Xianxia seeds in his body would be filled. And his own realm will also break through to the 6th level of body refining. At this moment, it was just dawning, and there was still some time. Yi Luyan took out the metal puppet again and started practicing with it. Now he not only needs to be familiar with his own realm, but also needs to understand the characteristics of true energy, be proficient in boxing and body skills, feel the defensive ability of the immortal hegemonic body, and skillfully apply spiritual consciousness. The metal puppet can adjust its own combat power according to the practitioner's true combat power. The puppet's current state is the early stage of the 8th level of body refining. This also allowed Yi Luyan to know what level of warriors he could fight, and he also experienced the power of the 8th level of body refining. If he activates the power of his bloodline again and uses a sledgehammer, he finds that he can fight against warriors at the 8th level of physical training. However, Yi Luyan's consciousness also discovered that there were not many crystals left in the puppet's body. The puppet is powered by spar. The puppets now use low-grade crystals, which are a grade higher than crystal coins. 1,000 crystal coins can be exchanged for 1 low-grade crystal stone. In the future, as his realm improves, the puppet may also use mid-grade crystal stones. He secretly calculated in his heart. It seems that wealth is indispensable for martial arts practice. After the clan competition is over, we can go to Wanbao Pavilion to exchange for some crystal stones. Yi Luyan and the puppet kept sparring until breakfast, and then he put the puppet into the storage ring. At this time, he was using the Judilang boxing technique, and 1 punch could produce the superimposed power of 6 punches. In terms of body skills, he has also made great progress through sparring with puppets. It's just that the grasp and use of wind are still a little bit worse. But it was enough to give him the confidence to break into the inner palace. He finished his breakfast in just a few bites and said to Feng Wanru, "Today's clan competition, aren't you going to watch me kill everyone?" That he really wanted to show his current progress. TCH. A bunch of little brats gesticulating, what's the point? I won't go. Feng Wanru directly picked up the wine gourd and waved to him. Say it like you're so awesome. Yi Luyan curled his lips and rushed to the martial arts arena alone helplessly. The first day of the clan competition is the competition and elimination of the foreign government, so most of the people present now are the disciples of the foreign government. Very few inner disciples came to watch the battle. When he entered the martial arts arena, he was dressed in coarse cloth, which made him look extremely eye-catching. After the battle with Yi Tao, no one dared to say that Yi Luyan was a waste. When the disciples from the outer palace saw Yi Luyan approaching, they all moved out of the way, and no one uttered a sarcastic comment. This is the benefit of having strength. However, Yi Luyan still felt a few looks with murderous intent coming from Yi Xinyu and several inner disciples beside her. Yi Xinyu entered the inner palace early because she broke through the 5th level of body refining before she was 13 years old. This is also the rule of the Yi family. If you are young and have a high level, you can also enter the inner palace in advance and enjoy better resources. There are less than 200 disciples in the Yi family's inner palace, which is more than 20 times less than the disciples in the outer palace, but they account for almost more than half of the Yi family's cultivation resources. This shows the difference in treatment between the inner government and the outer government. After Yi Xinyu entered the inner palace, she rose to 2 levels in a row within a year, and is now at the 7th level of body refining. This has a lot to do with the abundance of resources. Otherwise, it usually takes at least a year to break through from the 6th level of body refining to the 7th level of body refining. This is a transition from the middle stage of body refining to the late stage of body refining, which requires a large amount of true energy accumulation. Yi Xinyu was like a hibiscus emerging from the water at this moment, surrounded by several male disciples. With eyes full of admiration, Yi Luyan glanced at her and couldn't help but sigh. Yi Xinyu looks really good. but unfortunately her temperament is much worse than my aunt. Yi Luyun also knew several of the male disciples around her. They are Yi Wanjian, who is ranked 3rd in the inner palace, Yi Tianheng, who is 7th in the inner palace, and several disciples with good abilities. All of whom are also somewhat famous. Yi Xinyu was surrounded by several male disciples at the moment, and said to them coquettishly, "Senior brothers, my little sister's happiness in life depends on you. I don't want to marry that loser. Don't worry. Junior sister Xinyu, we will take advantage of the clan competition this time to help you completely get rid of that waste. Yes, only senior brother Wan Jian can match such a beauty as junior sister. We will never let him step off the ring." Yi Wanjian also said, "Junior sister, don't worry, I have told several junior brothers that I will not show mercy." He thought Yi Luyun couldn't kill him here, so he could only arrange for other juniors to deal heavy blows to Yi Luyun. It seems Yi Xinyu is using someone else as a weapon again. Yi Luyun felt the unkind eyes of this group of people, and when he saw Yi Xinyu's expression, he immediately understood her intention. At this time, the disciples from the outer palace were already queuing up for the realm test. This test is also very simple. It is to punch a stone on the test realm and judge the realm by the infuriating energy. Soon it was Yi Luyun's turn. Regardless of whether they knew about the battle between Yi Luyun and Yi Tao, they all wanted to see what state this former waste was in now. The venue suddenly became quiet. Even the head of the Yi family is looking here. Yi Luyun punched easily, and the stone tablet showed the 5th level of body refining. The clan leader was relieved when he saw it. I sighed in my heart, this kid. He can reach the 5th level of body refining without resources. He has a good talent. The disciples from the outer palace were all shocked. Didn't this loser just break through the 4th level of continuous body refining? Why did he reach the 5th level of body refining right away? You are looking for death. How dare you call him a waste? Have you forgotten how Yi Tao died? Oh, I didn't change it all of a sudden. The whispers of the surrounding disciples did not escape Yi Luyun's ears. The power of the soul not only improved his eyesight, but also improved the abilities of all senses. His hearing is naturally stronger than that of ordinary people. After Yi Luyun passed the stone tablet test, he got a number plate to participate in the foreign competition. He stood back in the queue calmly with his number plate in hand, but he was secretly happy in his heart. This is just the beginning. I will give you more shocks in the future. Yi Luyun now has the confidence. After all, his cultivation speed is too fast. In real terms, it only took 10 days for him to practice from the 1st level of body refining to the 5th level of body refining. The original 3rd level of body refining cannot be forgotten, because all the energy was destroyed by Yi Xinyu's sword. This clan competition test that had worried him for countless days and nights was actually passed by him at this moment with ease. Humph. You're only at the 5th level of body refining. In my eyes, you're still a waste. Yi Xinyu saw him, and although he was a little surprised by his level, she still looked down upon him. Different from Yi Luyun's relaxation, several disciples left the martial arts arena dejectedly, waiting for the fate of being sent to the branch. Chapter 10 Eye-Catching. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Next is the foreign government competition, and those whose numbers are called will take the stage to compete. Yi Luyun carefully observed every person who came on stage to compete in their martial arts skills. He had no martial arts skills before. Although he often peeked at others practicing martial arts, he always failed to get the point. Now that the soul is stronger, looking at it now, every move and movement seems to have slowed down. He can see it very clearly and can learn a lot from it. Following the shouts of the deacon elders, young disciples with excited expressions walked onto the ring. The winner is high-spirited. The loser will be dejected and even die. Every year, the clan competition is so cruel, and no one cares about life or death in the arena at this time. Only the strong are qualified to enter the inner palace and gain respect and resources. This is exactly the cruelty of martial arts. At this time, the elder deacon shouted, "Number 16, fight against number 89, After finishing his words, Yi Luyun looked at the number plate in his hand. Finally it's my turn. Before Yi Luyun could stand up, a young disciple with a fierce look on his face jumped up into the air and onto the ring. Yi Yong. Waifu rank 7th. I wonder who his opponent is, someone in the audience exclaimed. It looks like his opponent is going to be in trouble, in the ring, Yi Yong also shouted with strong confidence, where is number 89? Come up and die. Huh, are you sure it's me who died? Yi Liuyan's faint voice sounded, and a coarse cloth floated onto the ring like the wind. Seeing this coarse cloth, the outer disciples all twitched their mouths fiercely. What? It turned out to be Yi Liuyan. Scrap, Yi Liuyan, is that you? Yi Yong's face froze, and his aura instantly dropped. I'm so unlucky too. Yi Yong looked pale and almost wanted to cry but had no tears. He has been practicing hard this year and has made great progress. He is confident that he can be on par with Yi Tao. Unexpectedly, I met Yi Liuyan who defeated Yi Tao in the first round. There was a burst of sighs from the audience, all lamenting Yi Yong's bad fate. The clan leader and some inner government elders who didn't understand the situation also became curious when they saw this situation. Who is this disciple? As soon as he came on stage, he shocked all the outer disciples. Did another genius disciple appear in the outer palace? I've never heard of such a number one figure before. Yi Liuyan has only recently become famous in the outer palace, so many elders in the inner palace naturally don't know about it. Yi Yong swallowed, clasped his fists at Yi Liuyan and said, no matter what, I will still fight you upright. No matter how strong Yi Liuyan is, Yi Yong will not allow him to surrender without a fight. Okay, I'll give you 3 moves. Yi Liuyan said, give 3 moves. What's going on? A disciple of the 5th level of body refining wants to do 3 moves of the 6th level of body refining. All the elders in the inner palace became interested and started talking about it. The great elder snorted with a gloomy expression. This guy is arrogant and cannot be used for much purpose. But the patriarch said with great interest, interesting. I would like to see what abilities he has. Yi Yong took a deep breath, circulated his whole body's energy, put a palm on his chest, heat waves surged around his body, and his momentum instantly soared. This is Yi Yong's famous stunt, Flame Dragon Palm. It's a high-grade yellow-level martial skill. The people in the audience were immediately amazed when they saw Yi Yong using Huang-level high-grade martial arts. With this set of martial arts, coupled with the fire attribute Qi, it is possible for Yi Yong to fight against the 7th level of body refining. Yi Liuyan doesn't have any advanced martial arts skills, does he? I wonder which one of them is stronger. Yi Liuyan also didn't expect that Yi Yong could actually know Huang-level high-grade martial arts. It seems that not only inner disciples can obtain this level of martial arts, but there was no trace of fear in his eyes. The gap in skills is not irreparable. His Judilang can already accumulate the power of 6 punches. He was confident he could end the fight with 1 punch. Fire flames devour the heart. Yi Yong shouted, and a wave of heat hit Yi Liuyan's chest with a palm. Yi Liuyan, on the other hand, moved with the wind, like a leaf, taking advantage of the rushing heat wave, and ducked aside to avoid the palm. When Yi Yong saw this, Yi Liuyan easily dodged the palm, and immediately launched a move, Fire Burning Sky. This is a move that attacks a large area, and the purpose is to make it impossible for him to avoid it. Yi Liuyan smiled slightly, followed the heat wave, and floated back. More than 3 feet, out of the attack range of Yi Yong's palm, and then instantly returned to the original place with the swirling heat wave. His move caused a lot of discussion in the audience. What a wonderful movement. This is the Sui Feng step. How can you be a waste if you can practice the Sui Feng step to this extent? That when Yi Yong on the stage saw this, he was also shocked by Yi Liuyan's body skills, and immediately used moves that were conducive to fighting. The Flame Dragon entangles. Yi Yong shot out a stream of hot qi with 1 palm, winding around like a flaming dragon and enveloping Yi Liuyan in the qi, leaving him with nowhere to hide. Yi Liuyan also secretly praised Yi Yong's adaptability in his heart. Immediately, he tapped the ground lightly with his toes, lifted his body up, and with the heat wave energy all over his body in the air, he flipped several times and jumped directly out of the Flame Dragon's entanglement. After Yi Liuyan landed lightly on the ground, he said directly, 3 moves have passed, you can also take another move from me. Judiarang, with a brush, Yi Liuyan's figure flashed, and he ran directly in front of Yi Yong, and blasted out a 9-fold wave without any fancy. Yi Yong felt the pressure of this punch, and knew that this punch was the same as Xiaoka, and he immediately circulated his whole body's energy. The flame dragon pushes the mountain, that he shouted loudly and used both palms to meet Yi Luoyun's punch with all his strength. There was a loud boom. Yi Luoyun remained motionless, but Yi Yong was directly kicked out of the ring. Yi Luoyun still controlled the power. After Yi Yong attacked several times, he had clearly seen Yi Yong's strength. He has no grudges against Yi Yong and doesn't want to be cruel to him. Yi Yong was stunned after falling out of the ring. He originally thought he was either dead or disabled. At this moment, he discovered that he was not injured. He immediately understood that Yi Luoyun must have shown mercy. So he bowed deeply to Yi Luoyun to express his gratitude. All the disciples in the audience were shocked. This loser is really going to stand up. Not only did he allow Yi Yong 3 moves, but he also knocked Yi Yong away with 1 punch. Who will dare to say that he is a waste in the future? This is obviously a secret, but they were not as shocked as the elders in the stands. What shocked those elders was Yi Luoyun's control of power. Being able to knock away an opponent 1 level higher than themselves without getting hurt is something they even boast about not being able to do. This is enough to prove that Yi Luoyun's strength is far more than just defeating Yi Yong. Judging from this point alone, if nothing happens, Yi Luoyun will definitely enter the inner gate. Even Yi Xinyu looked cautious at this moment. When I went to assassinate him a few days ago, why didn't I feel that he was so strong? Could it be that he was still hiding it even when his life was hanging by a thread? And with the strength Yi Luoyun was showing now, even she wasn't sure she could defeat him. Yi Wanjian beside her said disdainfully, "Junior sister, don't worry. In my eyes, he is just a clown." Yi Tianheng also nodded in agreement. "Yes, if I face him, I can defeat him in 3 moves. Well. Then I'll help some senior brothers." Yi Xinyu whispered softly, and gave Yi Wanjian a loving look, which made his bones tremble and he couldn't help but have wild thoughts. Yi Luoyun has already stepped off the ring at this moment, still reviewing the use of Sui Feng Bu and Yi Yong's Yanlong fist in his mind. Completely unaware that he was now the center of attention, in an emergency situation just now, he used the opponent's hot energy as wind, which can be regarded as a better understanding of wind. His Sui Feng Bu has improved again. It seems that actual combat can make people improve faster. Fighting with puppets always lacks that sense of crisis, but he also gradually discovered that he had many flaws and deficiencies in his boxing and body skills, so he continued to perfect his skills in his mind.